They want to see what it is.
Okay.
This is the 81P that combines the narrow strip of land next to the Foggiano Club with the entire parcel. That was one of the requirements of the sale of the property.
Yeah, it sounds like they're gonna do a decent job.
It's endorsable as
Are
submitted.
you involved with that?
Motion.
Yes, I have two partners, Josh Leoch and Paul Tamani, and we purchased the old Fujiano Club on 28 Granite Street. Upon purchasing it, during the purchase, we discovered that there's a small sliver of land that actually part of the building was built on. So we proceeded with town council in order to be able to see about the acquisition of the land so that we didn't have to tear down part of the building. We plan to revitalize the building. We saw it was an eyesore for a long time down there, and we hope to, fix it up and
run it as a good club.
yeah, and run it as a social club. And one of our intentions, obviously, is to not only have a social club for the members, but also to give back to the community in various charitable endeavors.
Is there a liquor license with that?
We did get a seasonal liquor license that lets us operate for about 9 or 10 months during the year.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it should be
Very
good.
nice.
And I think for the town of Milford to clean up that property,
That'll look so nice,
yeah,
yeah.
especially with
Touch it.
Still made
the
the motion.
thousands of people that drive to Pheno Field all the time. They always ask me, what's wrong with that building? Yeah, so.
That's great.
Been moved by Pat to sign the 81P,
5 minutes ago, but you kept talking.
Yes.
seconded by
She asked me a
John.
question.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 5.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
I'll have Mike scan the Mylar in the morning, and
You want that
I'll
back?
pop one of these.
And
I'll
then Charles
pop
had
one of
mentioned
these
about
into
taking
the
that
clerk.
to.
Yeah, and then.
You have to have
You're
it,
gonna give it
you have to have it
I'll give it to
recorded.
Charles.
Excellent.
That's the only way to-
Thank you.
Hang on.
Okay, that's the only 81P we got, so, number 3, variance referral for 54 Congress Street. Larry, wanna,
The applicant's requesting a ZBA variance to allow for the construction of a detached garage within the side and rear yard setbacks on the subject property. Specifically, the proposal is to construct a new 25 by 31-foot, two-story detached garage.
Story.
I don't know what the overs, there's a typo there.
Big garage.
And expanding on the existing 20 by 20 concrete, over and expanding on the concrete slab that's still remaining from a prior garage that had been at that location. Based on available aerial photography, there's not been a garage in existence at that location for well over 20 years, in spite of what the application says that they're expanding an existing garage. There is no garage there. In addition to the variance request, the applicant's also proposing the use of the second story as a real estate office. Home occupations are only permitted in the primary residential structure, not in detached buildings. To allow for an office there would constitute a use variance, which is prohibited under zoning bylaw. So I'm recommending favorable on the setback variance and denial on the use variance because it's outside their jurisdiction. They can't do it.
Personally, let's be honest with one another. To have a two-story, clearly he's running some
He's there
sort
to-
of ancillary use and/or residential use, number
Right.
one. Number two, looking at what I could see of this, I don't understand why he needs to put it there.
Exactly.
Why does he need to put it there? I don't understand if you're saying it hasn't been there in 20 years.
Because the slab's there in the driveway.
Slab's there, he doesn't want to spend the money, but that's not
But we
for
don't know
us.
if the slab was there as nothing more as a patio. We don't.
Right.
We
No, I
we
know
honestly
that.
wouldn't know that. I don't think that either one of it is appropriate.
No, I don't
to be
think there's
honest
been
with
any-
you.
I don't think there's been
I'm
any
gonna make a
attempt
motion
to
for
meet-
unfavorable.
Right, I don't think there's been any attempt to meet
No.
the zoning bylaw.
And looking at
I
the
think
property,
they-
I think you could certainly put a garage.
garage in.
And you don't certainly need it to be 2 stories because it's not allowed for what he wants to do. So I'm unfavorable.
The second.
Thank you.
moved and seconded for an unfavorable recommendation to the zoning board. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous of 5.
So it's
I have your letter,
favorable on
Tom,
the
but-
setback
Sure.
variance and on the use variance. Definitely on the use variance, yes.
It'll go through.
And there is no hardship on that. I'm sorry. Just because there's some patio there, we don't know.
No,
We really don't.
The last aerial that showed it was 1957. There was a Model A size garage back there at the back end of the driveway. The driveway's still there, but slab's the only thing.
Okay, 18, Variance,
That's what I don't-
ZBA special
I don't-
permit, rather, for 18 Westchester Drive.
Yeah, they're requesting a special permit to allow for the construction of a movable chicken coop on the subject property. Bylaw provides for residential animals. I list the criteria in the definitions for what constitutes residential animals. So animals shall not include 3 dogs or 3 cats or any household pets which is normally kept
They're gonna
within a
move it.
dwelling unit. Otherwise, all that other stuff requires a special permit from the ZBA. So recommend favorable. It's a large enough lot. It's just, my question is, why does it have to be movable?
Well, I think it may be movable, so that
Probably drive it
So
around.
is for fertilizer.
I don't have a, yeah, this is a big enough lot, if someone wants to do it, I don't see, especially in this zone, but I think the thing is, it should be permitted for this location and not be moved. If they wanna move it, they have to come back.
Right,
I agree with
I
that.
agree with that.
non-movable.
You
So
gonna
I'll
make
make
the
a favorable,
motion?
I'll make a favorable recommendation to the zoning board, provided that the chicken coop stays in the location as shown on the plans, and that any movement of the chicken coop constitutes, resubmittal of the application.
Couldn't you just say permanently affixed to that location?
Permanently fix that, that's fine.
Moved,
Second.
moved by Joe, seconded by Pat. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Your letter, please.
Unanimous, sorry, unanimous of 5.
Note my abstention on this one.
Okay, we got a ZBA variance referral for 81 to 82 Prospect Heights. Pat is abstaining on this
On this one-
discussion.
On this one, I'm recommending that you not send a report at all. The application, in effect, is asking the ZBA to confirm something that doesn't appear to have sufficient evidence to verify what exactly happened. So if the record doesn't have it, how is the ZBA gonna confirm what they did? This was back in 1963. The notice of decision for a variance or for action by the board was recorded, but the decision itself was not recorded. So by not sending any report whatsoever, that forces it out another month, and maybe the applicant, which is Attorney Antonellis, can have time to verify what happened, and we'll do it again next time around.
I agree.
I think by the time they figure it out, they'll see there's sufficient evidence in the record that they don't need to go to the ZBA for anything.
This is Pro's house,
Yeah,
Whose house is that, babe?
it's on those.
this is the original, this was
Oh,
Anthony Bertano's house, this is the
Bertano.
duplex.
yeah.
The original zoning bylaw, just as an aside, or maybe background to this, the original zoning bylaw provided no minimum lot sizes.
So we're doing
Milford didn't have minimum lot sizes until 1960. So by 1960, town meeting adopted a zoning amendment that made all of the minimum lot sizes in town 10,000 square feet. The problem with all of that until basically the format that the current bylaw is in, which didn't happen until 66, I think, 65 or 66, was that the text of the bylaw was never amended as town meeting made amendments to it. So you had to go back and find those separate documents and put them all together to know what the current zoning bylaw at any given time was. Now, obviously, we publish every time it happens. So we're republishing a new version that's up to date. Back then, it wasn't. They had no idea who was on first. So a lot of good it did to have a zoning bylaw. But at any rate, I think there was concerns. The property may be up for sale. A lending institution may have questions. There will be sufficient evidence in the record to answer their questions. To me, this is a waste of everybody's time, so I would recommend that you not send anything to them at all.
Yeah, I don't know that we could add anything that we would have any idea of what to send to them. At the end of the day, it's still theirs as to what they wanna do or not, and it's really got,
Well,
It's got
but they
nothing to
can't act on it unless they have a report from this board. So that'll at least push it out another month. I think even potentially by the time of the meeting, it'll go away. But, it's
so what do we need to do, Larry? Just make, just
Nothing.
nothing?
nothing.
Table it.
That's my recommendation. I mean,
Table it.
move to adjourn, that would be the next logical vote.
Fine with me. Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second that.
Third.
Moved by Joe, seconded by Lena.
Don't send them anything.
You didn't ask if there's any new business, just in case. I don't have any, but just in case somebody had something.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
I don't think there's any, is there any new
Not
business?
on my agenda.
No, no new
This is another
business?
one if I have to
Subject
go
to
the
change,
meeting.
babe.
Say thank you and good night then.
Okay,
Motion's good now.
any further discussion? Hearing that, none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night.